P5 Factoring Polynomials Day 3. Your learning goal is that you will be able to write functions in equivalent forms and graph functions with and without technology. In example 1, we're going to do like the previous section and factor completely or state that the polynomial is prime. Remember, prime means there's no common factor or it just can't be factored. Okay, A. Don't think that every time you see a square that it's going to be difference of squares, because remember, difference means minus, and because this is not minus, then you can't use difference of squares, so this is prime. So be careful with that. B, 48y to the fourth minus 3y squared. Look for that GCF. So my GCF is 3y squared. And that leaves me with 16y squared minus 1, because this divides evenly. And now I have a difference of squares. So this has to go further to 4y plus 1, 4y minus 1. And that is factored completely. C, x squared minus 10x plus 25 minus 36y squared. Now, you have to be careful because you know with grouping, you do that with 4 terms. However, if you try to group these 2 terms and these 2 terms, 25 and negative 36y squared have nothing in common. So we cannot use grouping. So the next thing you look for is first you look for a GCF, I apologize. And if you don't see one, then you try grouping. If that doesn't work, then you try to see if you can do this. I don't know if you notice, but this is difference of squares. Because this first part is actually x minus 5 squared. And this is 6y squared. So when I rewrite it, I'm going to get x minus 5 plus 6y. And I'll do different colors so you can see. And then you have x minus 5 minus 6y. And that's as far as you can go. Okay, example 2, we're going to factor and simplify each algebraic expression. So let's look at A. X to the 3/4 minus x to the 1/4. Now, very important, when you're factoring fraction exponents or rational exponents, you want to factor out the smallest, the term with the smallest exponent. So looking at this one, the smallest would be x to the 1/4. So that's our GCF. So I'm going to divide both by x to the 1/4. And remember, you're going to subtract the exponents. So 3/4 minus 1/4 is 2/4, which reduces to 1/2. Minus, these divide evenly to 1. And that's as far as you can go. B, 12x to the negative 3/4 plus 6x to the 1/4. Okay, the variable with the smaller exponent would be x to the negative 3/4. And then, of course, they have a 6 in common. So that's what I'm going to divide by, or factor out. All right, so for my first term, 12 divided by 6 is 2, and those divide evenly to 1. Your second term, 6 divided by 6 is 1. And this will be x to the, remember you're doing 1/4 minus 3/4. 1/4 minus negative 3/4 gives you 4/4, which is 1. So this is x to the first power. Now, because that exponent, this term is negative, it has to go on the bottom so it remains positive. You don't want negative exponents. And then C, x squared plus 4 to the 3/2 plus x squared plus 4 to the 7/2. Okay, so my smaller exponent is the 3/2, so that's what I'm going to factor by. So dividing that, I get 1 plus x squared plus 4 to the, remember we have to subtract 7/2 minus 3/2, which is 4/2, which equals 2. Now, because they said simplify, we have to keep going. So we have to FOIL this. So let me write it down here. So you're going to get 1 plus, let me write it twice because this is a common mistake, x to the 4th plus 4x squared plus 4x squared plus 16. Now combine like terms. Write your first factor over. You get x to the 4th plus 8x squared plus 17. And that, my friends, is factored completely. And I just messed up my 17.